right, everyone, welcome back to Evony with Chalons today. Decided to make a video about it. I don't like to live stream them too much, interacting with the Alliance a bit more on line chat, and I just actually think that it's better to just do kind of like a highlight clip. Anyways, we were in tough today, so last week we won. Tied for first with 64 other teams, but that means that some teams are going to play each other after, right? So we, got to play against Rhythm, Demon, AAD, Angels and Demons. Lots of other good players in the alliance too. El Khalid, uh, Aphrodite, I think is another name. Anyways, so we knew we were not going to win. You know, when you're playing against 110 billion Rhythm, uh, he could probably beat our alliance on his own in Battlefield. So basically, we were going for second place. There was no doubt about it. So our strategy was spread out at the start. Everyone just try and kill all the easy points. Beat everyone else to it. We had the, AAD was 375 billion. We're 240. The next team was 160, I believe, and then a small team. So we wanted to get second. We wanted to get the easy points. We also wanted to avoid Rhythm killing us really early. So you could see there a couple of us rushed the sand pit, but AAD had the exact same plan, and it's hard to catch people. But then you could see here, so we go to form up, try to rally, and Rhythm had other plans. Rhythm came beside us and started to kill our teammates. So it wasn't going to be a good plan to just sit there and rally. Like you could see here, everyone's already gone. Everyone's like, hey, Rhythm's here, Demon's here. I don't really know which one he prefers to be called. I guess Demon, because it's his name now. But I know him as Rhythm, and so is everyone else. Kind of when it's your original name, that's kind of what it goes by. But anyways, yeah, so everybody spread out, and we continued with our plan to just move around and solo players that we could. And it's hard on the teleports when you do that. That's the one downfall. So your death comes quicker because eventually you're going to run out of teleports. But we did pretty good. Our teleport building team was very good. They always are. We had 21 players signed up to play. I signed 4 additional, just hoping that they would show up and could participate a little bit. But we had 21 full timers. And the other ones did come in and help a bit. And we did end up getting second place. You can see here how the battle goes. I eventually decide, you know what? I'm just going to go and test out the rest of Rhythm's team here and start doing some solo play on them. So I basically just thought, they have a lot of like K38s and 39s and they're rallying and they probably feel sort of invincible, right? Like that sort of thing does happen. So they probably weren't pre-reinforcing. And I just kind of took a chance and went over and then invited, I got 2 other big teammates as well, both in the 30 billion range. And I was like, hey, let's go over. Let's start hitting some of these guys. And, I kind of went with the strategy of siege, archer, ground on most of the like 6 to 8 billion guys. And it seemed to work. And my other 2 teammates would launch some attacks in there as well and find other targets. And they were trying to rally me at the same time. They were trying to land siege rallies on me very early and often. And I usually do eat them, but they were getting pretty big in size. They were like 57 million. And of course, I just, I wanted to survive longer to get more points because I'll get more points attacking on offense than if I just sit there and let them hit me. But you could see here just launching on all these softer targets and obviously avoid. They got quite a few guys in the 15 to 25 billion range after Demon Rhythm and obviously avoid them. No reason to do that. But hitting these other ones, getting some points. And we end up with, I think we ended up with 235,000 points, which is pretty good for second place. I think Rhythm ended up with probably more than 235,000 points on his own. He is a beast. I think you could see some of his buffs in the reports coming up because eventually we get to the point where we have no teleports. And I just decided, I told the team, I was like, hey, we're really down to our bottom few teleports because eventually AAD decided, let's shut down these buildings. Let's put 3 or 4 troops or marches in each teleport and buildings and really limit this. So I was like, hey, we got to use these last few teleports to go beside each other and reinforce each other a little bit because we're going to have to play defense eventually. So we might as well do it together. And that's what we did. And you'll get to see some of Rhythm's buffs here coming up once we teleport together. And he's like, he's as strong as it gets. He's 3750 siege attack, 3650 archer, 3650 horse. His ground was hitting at like 3250 with very high HP and defense. Little things that you don't know, right? Like I assume he has higher ground and probably higher other stuff also. It's just that, you know, he's dominating this battlefield. Probably no need to change his Monarch gear and probably didn't use his full buff. So right here is where we kind of decide, let's get together here and play some solid defense. So just before we get to that, I do manage to find a couple more targets, pad those stats, get those points up, because we are in a battle trying to get second place. And I don't know how many teams are going to have 8 points or more after this round. I'd assume this will probably put us in, like 50th place. But a tie with probably, I'm guessing if there was 64 undefeated teams after round one, there's probably going to be about 45 undefeated. And then there'll probably be like a 30-team tie for second place, which would put us right on the brink of top 64, which is what we want to advance. That's always been the goal for us. Last Chalons, we got, I think, about 75th place, and we didn't advance. We got 4 second place finishes. And I was at work during it, unfortunately, so I'd play like an hour and then have to go off. And I felt there was 2 or 3 battles we could have won out of those. Like we got some pretty decent matchups in the last Chalons, but we just couldn't get our full team on. It's really hard during the work week, but pretty available schedule right now to play this Chalons, so it's worked out well for me. So we got here a nice attack from teammate Sticky, one of the fan favorites on our server. I know the rest of the server quite enjoys her on server. She's always helping them test out their defense in kill event. And here we go. We are about to team up for our last defensive stand. So basically, we have no more easy targets on server or in Battlefield and on server. But no more easy targets. And it's time to use our last couple teleports, as I said, and let's meet up and play a little bit of defense. So we're there, and we just keep alternating reinforcements, siege, archers, ground, depending what they're sending, and trying to help each other out and squeak out some last points. And it works out pretty well for us. I'm not sure how many rallies I end up taking. I think less than my normal. In a normal battlefield, I think I'll usually take probably around 10 or 11 rallies against a really good team. But this team is much stronger, AAD. Also because they controlled all the buffs. So I assume they probably got some heal buffs in there early because they were sending strong rallies still from even the lower players. So that generally means that they got to heal the high-end troops. And one thing I will say about this battle was, man, those medical tents went fast. And that's one of the reasons why we went with our strategy of get out early, float around, try and find all the easy targets, but at the same time, also get all those medical tents so the enemy doesn't get them. Like, it's better if you heal your troops than them, right? The medical tents are there, and you don't want your enemy to get them. So you might as well, even if you're going to be splatting, as long as it's not like we obviously tried really hard not to splat on the team we were battling for second place. We tried really hard to avoid giving them easy points. But if we were going to splat on AAD, like if I'm going to send an attack and lose 600 but get 400 million points, well, that's better than eating a rally of 60 million and killing 2 billion but losing 3 billion. So it's better off to attack and lose troops and then use medical tents, heal yourself, and go fight again. As long as you're not giving the points to the team that you're battling in the standings. Now, if you're going for first place, don't be doing that against the team that's going for second, right? And most of these matchups in the prelims, the preliminaries, you pretty much know who's going to be fighting for first, which teams are going to be fighting for second. Because there's probably like, I would guess, 10 to 15 really strong teams on each continent. Uh, Definitely on continent two. And then there's like another 50 who are kind of equal. And we're in that second tier group. But that was our battle with Rhythm. Thought you guys would like to see that. This guy is a beast. Definitely one of the strongest players out there. Probably the top account in all of Evony, especially when you take into account the power that goes with it. But let me know how your matchup went. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.